Good morning, people. Good early morning. Good early morning. Yes, today is Thursday, April, was that April 23, I think? April 24, I forget, 2025. It's Thursday. Ah, the times that we're living in. The times that we're living in. Yes, what you're looking at now, this outside my window. Just to give you something to look at. Yes, I like to talk in nice dim lighting. It's very, very soothing for me. It keeps me focused on the message rather than on myself. So, what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about some matters that has been plaguing me, especially this past Monday. For like the past 2 days, I was under a lot of stress because an event that happened to me, it seems like things could look so perfect. I like to do my early morning walks, and the beauty here is so fantastic. And I just feel good inside when I see nature. And despite the physical beauty of the land here, there are ugly truths. There are ugly truths out there in the land of beauty. There is ugliness in the land of beauty. I in no way say these things out of malice, evil, mocking, or anything like that, but from my heart and my concerns at the implications and the seriousness of the day. It saddens my heart. I was so extremely upset. And I spoke to family about it just because I just needed someone to talk to and really wondering whether I should leave. And interesting that the event happened on Monday, the day after Easter, and then something happened. What was that? Today. Oh, two things happened today. I mean, yesterday, because right now it's midnight. Yeah, it's just after midnight. Two events happened today with where I live, the property I live on, and a neighbor. So I hope I'm able to remember everything, what happened. So it was three different events, all in a week. Two today and one on Monday. And today's early Thursday morning, just past midnight. Boy, the time is going so fast. I didn't realize the time. Just before I started the live stream, I looked at my watch. I said, "Wow, it's after midnight." So it's probably around like 12:30 midnight. Um, let me first explain the different events that happened, and are there solutions to this problem? Okay. Um, for one thing, um, I am fortunate that as a little girl back in America, I never had to beg for food or ask to beg others for money. I lived in a very strict household, and you did your chores. You don't talk back to your parents, and you don't get in trouble. And if you get out of line, you would get beaten. That's what I lived under. Okay. So this is the eyes or the lens or filter that I see through. But other countries are not like America, where I'm from, where I was born and raised. And what I'm seeing, that there is a different type of poverty where the new habitat where I live. There is poverty in America, but it's I think a more spiritual poverty in America, where the so-called poor somehow have money for drugs, bling bling, and other things. But these are called the poor. Well, where I live, you don't have that. You don't have bling bling. You don't have fancy cell phones. You don't even have water. Okay? Excuse me. You don't have that. So there's a different type of poverty. There's spiritual poverty due to oppression, and then there is a physical poverty, physical poverty based on a lack of resources. I'm talking about the latter in this live stream. Again, I'm not here to judge anyone, point a finger. I'm just saying what's on my mind, sharing what's on my mind. So what happened on Monday? I had gone out. Oh, not Monday. Wait a minute. What's it Monday? Oh, yeah, okay. Yes, it was Monday. Um, well, now I'm not even sure. Yeah, no, I had gone out. Yeah, it was Sunday. Yeah, I had gone out, and then I wanted to bring my dog right back outside just to stretch out his legs. Yeah, yeah, it was Sunday. It was Sunday. That's why I went out for lunch for Easter. Yes, went out for Easter lunch. It was very pleasant. And when I got back home, I said, "Hey, let, um, let my little boy, my little Lavender, get a little walk." Because he was in the little stroller for a while, and you know, because right after he had his breakfast, he didn't really want to eat his breakfast. He wanted to eat what I was going to eat, and so I said, "Okay, well, both of us will go out, and I get him a nice meal at the restaurant." Yeah, I found a place that caters to dogs. Yes, been there maybe 5 times now. So he had some of his food, but when I got back from the restaurant, I wanted him to just get a little exercise, get some energy, some fresh air. So I went down this side street that I live on. And I was just walked down one block. It's a short block across the street, and I saw a neighbor by their gate and just said hello. And I noticed as I said hello to my neighbor, a bunch of little kids came from the other side street that runs perpendicular to the street that I am on. And immediately I felt uncomfortable. I sensed something. I think the reason for that is they were extremely young. And I guess I'm kind of old fashioned. You don't have little kids unchaperoned without an adult. And just they look like almost like wild children. And I was walking my dog, and I said to myself, let me just kind of scoot over more closer to the wall, the opposite wall down this street, just to avoid them. You know, then they started chatting amongst themselves, and then they started following me. And yeah, because I had my little doggy, and children, young children are fascinated with little doggies, And one of them, the larger of the children, they're about the age of the elders could have been maybe 9 years old. They range from maybe 4 to 9, him being the oldest. He was bolder. And as I started walking past him, he ran behind me to running and sneak a feel of my dog. They were acting like children. So then I walked behind my dog to block him from the children and kept on going. And I said to myself, I'm going to stop walking. I'm going to confront the kids. But, I know what they want. They're curious about the doggy. And they want to pet the dog. They want, hey, they're being kids. So I stopped. I said, hi, hello. I said, did you want to pet my dog? So I was bending down to hold my dog steady. But when I did, I was wearing a scarf around my head and neck, and the scarf just kind of came off of me, and so I went to move, move away from the ground, and the kids were very jumpy, and they jumped back like they got scared. So then I said, yeah, that so I continued and bent down fully and held my dog, and I demonstrated how to pet the dog, my dog. And then the eldest, the biggest one, came by, and he was the first one to pet the dog. And then the other children, they said that I try to talk lively. I said, his name is Lavender. I said it in Kinyarwanda. And then I think it said how old he was in English and everything. When you do something like that, that you just, no problem, and you keep on going. And then I remember that I think I turned around to continue walking. And then the eldest one said, give me money. Give me money. So I said, yes, hello, viewers. So I said, that is impolite to ask people for money like that. And that, oh, how else I said it? It's rude, And if you want money, you get a job. And then I elaborate other stuff, that your dignity, um, don't go around, have pride in yourself, have a sense of dignity, and um, you get a job if you want money. And when I said that, he just continued staring, and then he said very emphatic. Then he said, this time, give me my money. Give me my money. And then he, in addition, said, give me my dog. Give me my dog. At that point, I forget what I said exactly, but I remember I just walked away. I walked away from them, and then I remember I picked up my dog because see now they were chatting amongst themselves, very chatty. And I picked up my dog and I said to myself, I'm gonna start walking quickly to get out of this situation. And they were following me. I could hear them following me from behind. But I tried to stay cool. I didn't want to look alarmed. But I discreetly picked up the dog and was walking. And I tried to pick up my pace a little bit. And then eventually they stopped and they went in the opposite direction. I remember I turned my head and so they were walking the other way. And they were looking at me also as they turned and walked away. And I thought, okay, let me just turn to, yeah, I felt that that it was very isolated, this area, this side street that I actually live on. And it's just now 2 blocks away from my house. They're short blocks on the same street where I live on. So I thought, okay, let me just make a right turn and then go down the block and then head home that way. And I said, no, don't do that. I said, they might be, by the time I go on that side of the street, walk down on the opposite side of the street, they may be on that side and I bump into them. So I said, no, let me just go back where I came from, take a peek to see if they're gone on that street. I did not want them to know where I lived. So the coast was clear, so I went for it and got home. And I felt badly. I felt emotionally. I got triggered. I got so triggered from the event. Now, it's not the first time that the little kids here and adults asked me the same way for money. But what was different when he said, give me, that for me, he's trying to say for me, because they don't speak English, whatever English you knew, they try to fit the words. But he's telling me to give him my dog. So even though I try to show kindness to these children, there's about 7 of them. Eldest one probably being maybe around 9 years old. These are young children. They range from age maybe 4 to 9, something that age range. And what triggered me was the thought of someone stealing my dog, my little boy, my little Lavender. I left the United States. The last straw that broke my back, so to speak, was that someone tried to forcibly remove my dog from my stroller. I had 3 little dogs back then in 2023. Just while plane is coming. Just a moment. Okay. Yeah, I can't compete with the planes. Okay, that is what happened. There were many things that happened, but that was the last straw when this man, young man, probably like in his 30s, tried to steal my dog. I was furious. And it's not the first time someone tried to steal him. And ironically, uh, my dog survived the arrival, coming here. I lost my girls. My girls died within 28 to 32 days upon arriving here in Rwanda because of their living conditions that the boarding place did. And yes, I wrote them up with the authorities. And my little boy is still mending. He may never get better. He's on special medication. And so I don't want to lose my little boy too. But it triggered me of him, the little boy, saying he's going to take my dog from me. It triggered me. And all that day and the following day, I had anxiety like you wouldn't believe. And yes, other people, were begging, but to say, in addition, after allowing you to pet my dog, to say, you're going to take my dog from me? And he just had, his face was like a blank stare. And I'm thinking, what type of animal are you? What type of human being are you? What are you to do that to somebody, to say that to your elder? To say that to your elder, a lack of respect. So that's what happened to me on Sunday. Yeah, I think it was Sunday, right after, because I had the lunch. Okay. And then, yesterday, someone, sorry, some message popped up. Then yesterday morning, I went for another walk with my little dog. I had talked to some people who I know about the incident, what happened to me on Sunday, and I kind of calmed down after that. Okay. So I felt comfortable enough to go out today. And this was a little different. This was again uh, about 2 blocks away from my house. And I see a woman, mature woman. She could have been about late 30s, 40s, heavyset woman, and she's carrying her baby on her back. That's primarily how women carry their babies. When they're walking, they have the baby strapped to their back. And the lady stopped next to me and then turns around, and there I saw she had a baby. And she wanted the little baby to see my little dog. And I was so I was flattered, and I was happy to see the little baby. I like little babies actually, and she had such a pretty little baby. And I said, "Oh, how beautiful! Oh, how beautiful your baby!" I put, "Oh," and like I touched my own face to that the face of the baby is so beautiful. And then I walk away. She walks away across the street in this house. It's a very unique looking house. It kind of looks abandoned. It's like a big wall, and it's actually something inside the wall, and you hear animals like cows. And even this is a residential, but this house is probably the original house in the area before development. And they have chickens also, wild chickens by the house. I'd stay away from it. It kind of looks, just looks the way it looks, okay? And she walked to that house, and then I see that she was talking to somebody, a little child, and then the child runs over. At first, when is the child coming in my direction, or is she gonna go somewhere else? I don't know this child, but yeah, the child came in my was running towards me. So I stopped, and again, you don't have children run across the street without looking. You don't teach your children to run across the street because you could get hit by a car. Okay? So the child comes up to me and gives me a hug. So I let chuck back. I mean, this is a tiny child. The child was maybe between 3 and 4 years of age. And the woman is still out there across the street. And I just thought, so, oh, you want, I pointed to the dog, oh, you want to pet the dog or something? That's what I just assumed, trying to see the little doggy. And no, she says, okay, what it sound like to me? Morning. Said, morning. Then she repeated again, morning. Said, morning to you too. Then she says, no, money. Then she repeated, money. I said, oh, I'm sorry, no money. And she repeated, money. I said, I'm so sorry. And then I walked away. And I did turn my head, and then she waved, and I waved back. Okay. And then later on, that was early this morning, around maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then there was something else that happened on my premises. The owner of the house I live in, they employ people to take care of the landscape, the exterior of the home. And I mean, they're not a bad person, but there are some questions about this person. But what happened today? Okay, I hope I can remember exactly what happened. They knock on my door. Okay, it's dark outside. It was maybe like 7:30 p.m. It gets dark by that time here. And so I answer the door, and I open the door, and I say hello, and he says hello back, and we're speaking in Kinyarwanda, and he's trying to teach me how to pronounce, the certain greetings, because I don't my I don't I'm not good with the language. But it's all in good spirit, okay? And then he wants to show, demonstrate something he was trying to communicate with me in the foreign language. And and then I noticed that the sky is like glowing. I said, oh, because I thought what he was trying to communicate, that to get my clothes from the clothesline because it's going to rain. That's what I thought. So I said, oh, okay, okay, okay. I pointed to the sky. I said, okay. I said, thank you. And then I went to go get the clothes. Then he says, "Oh, oh." Then I realized, no, he wasn't talking about my clothes. He didn't know my clothes were there because I went and was going in the back to get my clothes before it started raining. And then I get the clothes, and then I get to the front gate. I mean the front of my door to go inside, but he's trying to communicate something. But and at that time, I had my cell phone in my hand, and my cell phone does have an app to translate. And so he points to my phone, to use my translator to try to communicate with me. And like one thing I have to warn people with these translators, these apps that so-called translate, while they start typing, you could see as they type in their language, and then you see the English, my language, that it'll start to say things that sound absurd and even at times obscene. Okay. But either way, he's typing, and the message on it keeps changing um, according to what letters he's typing. Okay. Because it's trying to translate. I use Google Translator. I find it very problematic. But either way, when he was finished, um, I had an idea. And it was something about his child. And um, now, why is he telling me this? Now, again, it was instructed in the past, the recent past. If you have any concerns or problems, you go to the management or the manager, which is right next door. If you have any concerns or to communicate, because see, because the translator app is not accurate, and you don't want miscommunications, right? And so go and have the manager, and the manager told me, and that's what I just try to communicate with him after, because I told him I don't. I sent him for je ne connais pas. The message. I don't understand. That's what that means. Je ne connais pas. I don't understand. That's a signal that moi, my French is better than my Kinyarwanda. So moi parle elle. Okay. So basically, I'm saying I will call her to talk to you and translate. So I try to call, and she does not pick up. So I said, I will text her. And he said, "Oh, no, 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 no." He can say no. He knows how to say no, no. No, it's okay. Um, but I said, I'm going to text her because if you're asking what I think you're asking, that is um, not professional. I'm not the person's employer. I do not employ them. I do not pay them anything. I am the client/tenant. I live here and I pay to live here. And the owner of this property pays the helper, the person, the groundskeeper, not me. You need money, you go to your boss, not me, not the client. I am the client. I am not their responsibility. But if he does something specifically for me, then I will pay them for that um, deed. Okay, that's about it. So I text her. He still kept on trying to communicate. I didn't want to deal with him. The rain, it did start to rain, and I said I got to go inside. I don't want to deal with this individual again. He's not a bad person, but I don't want to deal with nonsense because I know what he's really asking. So guess what happens? It gets better. It gets better. So I did text the management of the property, and she texted that she wasn't able to respond right away because she was on the road. She was in a car, um, and I had written her what that he was trying to communicate. She said that she will call him and find out. Then she contacts me in a text and say that, oh, get this now, this gets good. Oh, he was saying that your manure is not good. It is something wrong with it. So I responded, that's very interesting because I don't have any manure. I have soil and wood. Then I said to her, and then she said, it sounds like someone might be deceiving me or not telling the truth. And then she had, what do you call it, emoji of a monkey covering her eyes, covering its eyes. So I said, well, I said he tried to, he used my app to try to communicate, but with these apps, they're never accurate and they can say things and make a big mistake and they're not saying what they're saying. But let me send you what he texts to me, and if you can translate what he's saying. And it's what I thought he was trying to say. And basically, he's talking about his kid is in has a condition or something. Um, in choice. He's talking about his kid because he wants help, and the help he wants is money. Okay, so he didn't want me to talk to the owner when questioned, but he lied to her about the manure. I don't have manure, so I can say I have something that I don't have. Okay, so he tried to cover up the story about his kid. Why is he telling me about his kid? Now I don't say this to sound insensitive. Because I don't understand, we don't understand each other. And it was discussed earlier with management, any concerns, whatever, you talk to the owner or the management, and they'll translate to me. And that him saying one thing, and luckily I had the proof. Something told me that, like, because he asked for my phone to type for me, type what he's trying to communicate to me, or using the Google Translator. And what I did discreetly, I did a screenshot. I made the screenshot to protect myself, because they can say anything. Like again, it could have translated what he wrote, uh, saying one thing, but he could have been innocent. You know what I'm saying? So he could have been legit and just saying something that is not what I think it is, and it's just translating incorrectly. I wanted to give him that benefit of the doubt, and that's why I said I'll send you. I told the management that I'll send you what he sent to me. And again, these translators are not accurate and make big mistakes. What does it say? So after she told me what translate what he was saying, I told her, the management, I said, look, I need to tell you something else that you need to know. And I told her, I pressed the button and it almost it dis I almost deleted the live stream. My apology. Okay. So okay. So I told the management in a text that I need to tell you another incident that happened, just so that you understand what my possible concern could be regarding this. Okay. So there was an incident that happened a couple of months ago. Um, we used to have another helper here on the land, and there was he had like a family emergency, and he got his adult son to cover for him and do the work on this property. Um, Money's tight here. This country is a very um, um, the economics are a little challenging for most people here. Okay, I'm trying to be very polite. Um, so I had some soil delivered because I want, I want to try to do some planting here, for myself, separate from the owner. I want my own little plant, and so he says, "Oh, I help you. I'll help you. Transplant your stuff." Yeah, he took big initiative in doing this. And I was thinking to myself, okay, I said to myself, I'll make sure I'll pay him some money on the side, you know, for helping me. Because he's really showing initiative. See, I believe in paying people who show initiative and who do a good job, okay? And so while he's um working, I'm working too. He's not just doing it by himself. I am also doing, the transplanting also. Then he starts to complain. So, oh, my wife, oh, my kids, and all the money. And I'm thinking, oh, brother, here we go, right? So I particularly don't like men complaining to me about money and their families. I don't like it because um, it's rude, I think. I think it's rude to um, come to women and ask for money. Um, I just think, you're a man. If you're a man, you don't go to a woman that you really don't know and ask them for money and complain about your life and this, that. Be a man and you do what you need to support your family and get another guy, get two, three jobs. You know that I'm old school. I mean, I remember one time. I'm not trying to sound insensitive, but I'm just saying how I feel. That I'm not used to. It's none of my culture for a man to come to a woman and ask for help, money. Okay, you're healthy and everything. You get into a second job, third job. This one girl told me many, many, many years ago, 30 plus years ago, I used to live in the Caribbean. And the woman is telling me a story of this guy she was living with. And he comes home and says that he lost his job. So she said very strongly, don't come back in this house until you find another job. She was really firm with him. So he leaves the house, and guess what? He comes back and got a job. And then my friend is saying, not only did he get one job, but he got two jobs. Yeah, I remember that story. I remember that story very clearly. Okay? Sometimes the only thing that guys need is just encouragement. So I'm just moving something. It's just encouragement. Because men in general are they like what's the word? Um when you a challenge. You give a man a challenge, and it clicks with them when it's a challenge, and they go for it and they get. Okay. So when he's complaining, and you know what he's asking for. He's asking for money. And I gather he is planning what he's going to do. Oh, I'll help this lady with her gardening because I'm going to ask for money. Okay. And how I feel is, if you want money, just say, hey, I'll help you with this, and you pay me, you pay me X amount of money to help you with it if you want help. See, I could respect that. Don't pretend, oh, you just want to be friendly. No, you're not trying to be friendly. You want money, so be upfront, be a man. Be a man. I like men who are men. Be a man. Say, hey, um, I could use some extra money. Hey, if you need help, you pay me X amount of money to do this job for you. I could respect that. And I could either say no or yes. Okay. So, um, so I told, um, after the project was done, I did pay him. And I paid him nicely. I paid him a good sum of money. And my finding out what the daily wage is here, I paid him handsomely. Okay. But shortly after that incident, it happened within that, because he wasn't there long. Um, he wasn't on the property long. He was there for a couple of days. But one particular day, shortly after that incident, that man got arrested. Let me tell you what happened. And I'm going to link this arrest, the event that led to the guy's arrest, with the current helper on the property. Okay. So, it turns out that the helper from a couple of months ago, who's the son of the regular helper here, sorry, he had her behind everybody's back. He took it upon himself to go to a neighbor and make a deal. You'll work on this property where I live while that person, the one that's assigned to work here temporarily, while while until the father comes back, and he worked on this construction site next to where I live, and he didn't ask permission for that, but he took it upon himself. This was his plan. Okay, this was his plan. I don't know who these people are that he wanted to put on my property, jeopardizing me, my safety here. So he goes to this construction site and with other people, and then at least he's in the company of people who are robbing this construction site, and the police came and arrested all who were there who were stealing, and he was amongst them. So he was arrested, okay? And I was notified that I was notified that he had, I'm sorry. I was notified that he was arrested and they have to get another replacement. So, so, so where does this link with today's incident? So, what could happen when you live in a society where uh, your your money is lean? Now, the parallels is that, see, the guy that got arrested had told me a sad story about him not having money for his family. And the guy from today, who is working on the property, is telling me about his child. Now, again, I love children, but I've heard it all, okay? I've heard it all. These stories that people tell you for sympathy, for something. They're not just telling you something because they're telling you something. After a while, you can see through people. And again, it is inappropriate, him as an employee, and I'm the client. If he has a financial need, you go to your employer and not me. Okay? And so what what followed after that guy that got arrested, after him telling me a sad story about his family, wife and kid, and I had just given him money, but that wasn't enough, and that he committed he was in the presence of criminals and was arrested by the cops. So if history repeats itself, him telling me a sad story, what could happen next? What could happen next? That in desperation, because again, what could happen? Why would a man tell a woman about this financial need? I told him, look, I'll call the management and have them translate. And then he didn't want me to have her translate because see, he doesn't want her to know, the management. It's a lady. Doesn't want her to know what he communicated. But luckily, I made a screenshot of what he texted to me, and that text, use the translator to me. And I'm sorry. What am I supposed to think? He didn't want me, he wanted her to know because he knows he's not supposed to be saying that to me. He knows what he was instructed. Also, the concern is that this helper, I mean, he's not a bad person. I actually like the guy. But just because I like it doesn't mean I'm stupid and doesn't mean that I want anything else to happen. I'm sorry, I'm really distracted when these things keep propping up. Um, anything could happen. Um, so he lied about what he said. He told the management, "Oh, I'm just saying that the manure is not uh, in good condition." Um, but that he's texting me something about his kid. He could have just easily said, "Oh, I'm just talking about my kid. I was just, whatever." But so isn't that a Freudian, thing? He's talking about his kid, and then he's going to use the term manure. That go figure. Go figure, people. Yeah, what he has to say is smelling like manure. That's what it is. He knows he's not being truthful. Okay. So I'm concerned. So I text her. Oh, yeah. So I did find out about the translation because I sent the management the copy what he sent me, and that she said she will talk to him. Now I shared with her about the prior helper, the groundskeeper, being a thief. And that I'm concerned that because he's asking for money, and the other one implying, hinting about the need of money or something, and that what could happen, that they get desperate. And I don't want anything to happen to me because I'm a single woman. And then I also shared with her about the incident that happened of these the nine, what's that? The little boy and the six other kids ranged between the age of 4 and 9, and that they were demanding money and my dog, and that they're getting desperate in this neighborhood. I live in a very nice looking neighborhood. It's very nice. It's very clean. But you have a lot of people with lean pockets that live also here in the vicinity. Yeah, how houses are made. Like a rich person could be neighbors with a poor person. Okay. Yeah, they're not segregated. They live all, everybody lives all within each other. Okay. So I told him my that I want to feel secure here. And it's the signs of the time. That's why I'm sharing this information. I'm not here to trash any nationality or race or ethnicity or religious group. No, I'm talking about the signs of the time. And that what happens in one country could be really a reflection of what's happening in the world. What's happening in America, where I'm from? It's chaotic. And chaos is here. It's the need for people have are getting desperate and getting more forceful or bold about their needs. And they assume because I look the way I do that I must have money. And it's unfortunate. I want to be able to walk without children or adults, even elderly men, forcefully demanding. They don't know what I have. I dress really no different than the people in my neighborhood. But See, they know that I'm not from here. I don't look exactly like the people here. And it is what it is. Even if I looked identical, people can tell what your social economic is, how you carry yourself, how you know people. You know, even in America where I'm from, you can tell pretty much who's who. You can tell who's the tourist, who's the local, you know. It's no different here. But the only difference between really here and in America is that poor people don't have bling bling. They cannot even afford to get bling bling. They don't have money. They don't even have money for water. They don't have it. They cannot pretend to have money because they don't have money. They don't have it. They don't have it. So I'm set. So I share these three different events that happen in less than a week. And I'm concerned about the signs of the times that's happening globally. Okay, someone's writing a note. How do you feel about these Donald Trump being president? Okay. How do how do I feel? I'm not sure how Donald Tr- Donald Trump has to do with what I'm saying. Okay. Um, I guess you mean that because the signs of the times in America and with the new president. Um, Good question. Well, let me put it this way. Someone shared with me in comparison, if you're just talking about dollars and cents, dollars and cents, you ask yourself, are you better off under the prior administration or the current administration? Or when Trump was president the first time versus in comparison to the prior, the administration just prior to our current one. And you compare how much money you have now and how much money you had then. And that is an indication on not with personality, because some of you have personality cults on either side. Okay. You go by what benefits you. I think with politics, that politics is turning into a personality game. And personality, anyone could have a persona and a personality, but it doesn't mean reality. You have to ask, are you better off financially now, then or now? And that would be my answer. So going back to the conversation about the signs of the time for what's going on in the planet. See, what happens in one country, especially America, is going to have a trickle down effect on everybody else. We are all bouncing off each other and we're all affecting one another. And I ask myself, like the little girl that ran up to me and hugged me after I had spoken to, it was a lady with the baby on her back. And it looked as though, because she was talking to the little girl that ran over, the lady that came to, that was walking past me and wanted to see my dog, had her little baby see the little dog, you know, that it looked like she was instructing the little girl to run across the street and ask for money. And to my embarrassment, I thought the little girl was saying, morning, morning. No, she was saying money, money. So you're going to teach a little child how to say the way money, but not teach a child how to read, write, and arithmetic, and not to run across the street because you could get hit by a car if you run across the street and not look where you're going. This is something that's more valuable than to use children to manipulate adults for money. It burns me. It angers me, people. It angers me. What you're saying is that you're not a woman enough or a man enough, father enough to provide for your children. You're not man or woman enough to provide for your children, that you're going to instruct your children to go up to a stranger and ask for money. Did you know, people, if any so called third worlder is listening to this conversation that I'm saying, please listen clearly. And if you're on the first world or second world, please, people, please, planet, listen carefully. Do not have your children run up to strangers, hug strangers, or ask strangers for money, because you have some strangers that are crazy, that are perverts, and that they could say, oh, you want money? Oh, come to my house. And they could SA your child. They could sell your children. Did you know that there is human trafficking? Children being stolen, children being, what do you call it, human trafficked to other parts of the world? Did you know that? Did you know that, people? Did you know that children are being used and being sold into slavery, into horrendous things, unimaginable? Did you know that there was such thing as slavery? Hello, African. Do you know the word slavery? I'm sure you do. So why do you have your children run up to people from Western countries and who could violate your child? Don't you ever learn? Don't you have a brain? Don't you realize what's going on in this planet? Do you have your head in the sand and you have no sense of history behind you? Please wake up, Africa. Please wake up, third world nations. Please wake up, planet, regardless what world you live in, first, second, or third world. Please wake up and educate your children not to go to strangers, not to beg for money or whatever. Parent, you better start thinking before you sleep with somebody and have babies. You better think and plan your life before you do the nasty. You better think, hey, could I afford this kid? Anytime you have sex with somebody, it can result in a pregnancy. Do you have money to take care of that kid? Do you have a home for the safety of that child and the safety of those people, the spouse? If you're not, do not have children, do not have a family, do not get married, live single, save money. And when you think you're ready, then start a family. Stop abusing your children. You are telling the world that you are not man enough to take care of your own children, or you're not woman enough to take care of your children, to instruct them to do a very, very dangerous action. Dangerous. I mean, one time this was early last year, I was walking to the market, and these teenage girls, there was three of them, and they see me on the opposite side of the street, and we're going in opposite directions. And I'm going straight, and then I hear, "Eh," and I turn my head. The girl ran across the street and busy on a highway. Barely, almost got hit. Almost got hit. Why did she almost get hit? Because she wanted to come and say, give me money. Give me money. And then the other two girls joined her. And I spoke to them. And I said, you should never beg for money. You should never, as women, do that. You go to school, educate yourself, or get a job and save up your money so you can buy the things you need. That's basically what I told them. And to have dignity in themselves. That's what I told them. And then a passerby on a bike was a man. And he knew pretty much what the girls probably were asking me. So he reprimanded them in his language to stop doing what they were doing to me. And then I continued on. People are so desperate. These girls were not destitute either, these teenage girls. They were not destitute looking. They look like girls in America who are going to the mall. That's what they look like to me in African style, okay? Girls just bored, want something to do, and want some pocket money to go buy whatever. These were not destitute girls. They just saw opportunity. The opportunity, she looks like she got money. Well, let's go get some. And she almost got hit and could have gotten killed because those cars were going fast. It was a highway. And that's what happened. And you risk a penny. You don't know what I have. You don't know anything about me. People, you look at individuals and you assume things. And you're willing to risk your life for a fucking penny. Because what you think somebody has. And it's not that you need what you ask for. You just want what you think I have. And you're not willing to work and save for it. I work and or save for what I want. I have a very low, I try to live very simply. And I live within my means. And I don't use credit cards. Get rid of your credit cards. See, a lot of people in America live with their credit cards and they buy things they can't afford. They live off of their credit cards so they can have the illusion of wealth. Well, I learned in my early 20s, I'm in my 60s right now, but I learned in my early 20s the lesson of buying on credit. I learned twice. And I said, never again. And I cut those bad boys up and I paid off my debt. And that is my religion. Get off of debt. Get out of debt, I meant to say. Get out of debt. Live within your means. And so what if someone makes fun of your clothes? Okay. Back in America, I shopped at the Salvation Army. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, yes, I do. You can get some nice stuff from the Salvation Army. And those people who are not from America, who don't know what the Salvation Army, it is a religious organization. They're a church, and they are known for having um, thrift stores. Their clothing, their items that are sold at big discounts, and the poor shop there. And yes, I shop there. You have, especially after the COVID-19, many people shop there. So, yeah, you have a lot of people want to show off and want to pretend to have what they don't have, and they're in debt. Their life is a debt. Well, I don't want to live like that. And I want to live to my truth. I spend what I have. I don't spend what I don't have. And I live within my means. I'm very frugal because I know what it's like to be unemployed. I know what it's like not knowing how you're going to pay your rent. And in your panic mode, I know that feeling. I've experienced it. And I'm very happy that the um, the benevolent one was merciful to me and gives me food, and and I get my rent paid. I am very fortunate. And so I say this strongly to you guys, that it's not about my being insensitive to other people's needs. It's about people. See, there's a difference of someone who's in need, and a difference when someone's just being greedy and just are envious because they want what they think you have. And it's not like they're asking their neighbor. They're not. They're not asking them. It's when they cut, like these two teenage dudes once were coming up the hill, and I'm sitting down under a tree just relaxing. And when they came up to the hill and they saw me, one of them said, "Oh, I'm hungry." Oh, yeah, right. I'm saying to myself. I just said to him, "I'm sorry." And then he goes away. Yeah, they're not hungry. What they are envious and sees an opportunity and want to take or receive what they think I have because they want what they think I have. Not that they need it. If they needed it, they would have asked their neighbor, "Neighbor, I'm hungry. There's food all over that island." What's happening? People seeing what you have, and they're not willing to work for what they need. That is the problem that I'm seeing here. And when people get desperate, when times get really desperate, when they really are hungry, and especially when men get hungry, men get violent. And that's what my big concern was with the little boy. Yet there's aggression. There is aggression here. With males, when they said the men feel entitled, some men feel entitled upon a woman. They feel entitled, some men. And when they don't get what they want, remember the song, though, any of you West Indian, any of you there that are listening, there's a song, "A hungry man is an angry man," right? A hungry man is an angry man. There's different types of hunger, people. There's different type of hunger. There's hunger for food, hunger for love, etc., etc. And when they don't get, they get mad and they get angry and they can get violent. Why are all these things happening in America or all over the world? because you have a hunger that's not quenched. And when that hunger is not quenched, honey, get out the way. So that's why sometimes I take a breather and I stay indoors for a couple of days to let things go by, and help me like regroup what I saw or what I experienced. Sometimes I just need to, just get my head together of the things that I'm seeing, because the signs of the time is at hand. And we have to really get stable. And just before just before I did this video, I saw a video that really lifted me up. It was it was designed for women to listen to. It was a voiceover, and it was a man doing the voiceover about 8 things that women know. I mean, 8 things that let women know that God is protecting them, something like that. And wow, it was powerful. Wow, about discernment. So you may have, yeah, it was about, I said women, but single women. Uh, eight, eight signs that, was that single women are protected by God. Yeah, that's what it was. And I'm a single woman. And the same thing applies to men also in this voiceover video that I watched. It's really universal, but he was targeting women audience, and the stigma about women who live alone. Well, there are women and men that they are fearful for being or living alone. And they play by fear. I know what fear is too, of course. But I I like being alone. I like my freedom. I meet women that share with me that they're being abused by their partner. I've even had people here in this country ask to move in with me with their kids. I kid you not. See, people like misery. What's that expression? Misery loves company. Where you have couples, individuals who are in relationships, and they are jealous of your unique living condition, to not have to need a spouse. They're jealous of your independence. They are jealous that you may appear to be a little happier than them, even though they are married. And even they may even have children too. And they're not happy. They are trapped many times. You have many households that are trapped and they cannot get out. Yep. And they want to live the illusion that they are complete. You ever hear that? Oh, I'm a complete woman. Or that a woman's not complete. Even Christians say that. When I was in the Christian church, they used to say that. A woman is complete when she has a husband. But they never say that a man is complete because he has a wife. It's that she's lacking and she's only complete with something else. Not that she's complete in herself. They never put the stigma on men that they are incomplete. They never even imply that there's something wrong with him if he's not married with children. See, a lot of people are not married. Excuse me, a lot of people are not happy that they're married with children. They are stuck. They are stressed out. They are fighting each other. Many of them are on drugs. Many of them are alcoholics, etc., etc., etc. And they don't like your freedom. And they want you to be in bondage with them because, see, they thought that life, the American dream, the goal in life is to get married and have a kid and house. And but that when they do have it, they see through the lies and deception, and that you are only complete to yourself. What makes completeness is how you feel about yourself. No, it's not a spouse that completes you. You complete yourself. That is the lie that many people are taught, that you're complete, or that the picture to make you happy is with this spouse. Did you know that many spouses commit adultery? There are plenty of people committing adultery. And yet they're pointing at single women being lonely. It's a difference between being lonely and being alone. There is a difference between being lonely than being alone. Alone is that you are by yourself. Lonely is a state of mind. How many lonely people who are married who go to bars and they're married and they go to, let's say, a strip joint, or they go on a sex line, a phone sex, or they go to a bar, right? Hello, people. Hello. Are I not speaking the truth? So if having these relationships is not, if it's supposed to be so fulfilling, why are they so damn lonely and doing those things? Because they're lonely. You could be lonely with a bunch of people. You could be lonely in a crowd. You could be alone and you have 100 kids. It's a state of mind. It's your state of mind. And humanity is being deceived. We are all being deceived about what makes a happy life. And when I was watching that video that's geared for women about the eight signs that God is protecting single women, it was amazing. And it did give me courage. And I started laughing at one point that, see, the illusions and the name blaming and shaming of women for not believing the lie. There are many women who are content living alone. There is freedom. I mean, you do what you want to do. You wear what you want to wear. You go where you want to go. There is freedom being a single woman. But you know what else? To be completely honest, there are, how you say, every situation has its curses. For one thing, even though it is a blessing to live alone, yet there are social stigmas that are placed upon women in particular. But the act of living alone is a blessing, but there's social stigmas that can hurt women. So that's all. And some things are really designed, like when you go to resorts and stuff like that, many of them are designed for couples. And so what if you're single? So things like that. But still, you can make it work for you. You can make it work for you. Like me, I love walking in nature. I I love it. It gives me a sense of peace. It really does. It really, really does. And I mean, life is what it is. Life is a cycle, and life goes up and down. There are moments of despair, and then there's morning of happiness, and there's morning of, hey, everything's just copacetic. Everything's right in the middle. You just level. And that's life, just like nature. When you look outside in nature, nature is good and bad. It has its rainy season and it has its dry season. And it's the art of going within. Yeah, that's what that video was telling me. It's about not getting distracted about what's happening externally, which makes you feel depressed, but going within and tapping onto your strength and not being suckered into these games. You notice now on YouTube or social media, they'll try to provoke fights amongst people. They try to provoke, they say something to try to trigger you and for them to rob your peace. That's what's happening a lot of times. They're doing things and saying things to rob your peace. That's what, you have people who are jealous or whatever, or insecure with themselves. And it's like they're saying, how do you be content in yourself? So they try to mess you over. So when that happens, they were saying, hey, rather than confronting them, avoid them. Stay at home. Don't let them rob your joy. There's a time to engage, and there's a time to, hey, don't even address it, because it's designed to pull you in to their mess, their dialogue, and their chaos. Don't fall for it. Yeah, sometimes I could get triggered. Oh yeah, I'm human. I'm human, folks. But once you realize and see a pattern of things, you say, okay, use wisdom. And sometimes by saying nothing is everything. Sometimes people, you don't have to say one damn thing. Take your peace with you and just walk away. Just walk away when you can. And the power to just not engage is a weapon of strengthening yourself. Okay? So that's what that video was telling the people. And I thought, wow, some of that is really right on. It's right on it. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And again, it's not just for women, but it applies to men also. Don't fall for it. Society now is just trying to pull people into the mess. And it's a cycle. And you know what else? And what I'm reminded, there's another poor black dude who fell into the trap. Uh, he goes by the name Shay Shay. I just heard about it. It's ridiculous, people. Men, come on. Come on. Please, men, be selective. Be selective who you get involved with. Okay. You do have, there are some women out there who target men. They target rich men. I'm not saying that she targeted him, but I'm just saying the scenario of a man, a middle-aged man, and uh, a then teenage girl, and then things could happen, and people are slyly savage in their motives. Not saying that she, but in general, with current relationships, it seems these days that you have individuals who may plot and they say to themselves, I can do X, Y, and Z. And if this doesn't come to how I want it, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then some might say, oh, well, I'm smarter than that individual. I'll take it, use it, and then throw it out when I'm finished. And the savviness of individuals these days are such that they have no shame, some individuals. And even though with more technology you don't have more wisdom, it seems like it's breeding selfishness in people, instant gratification. But in this Shay thing, uh, he's being sued, and it's both sides are um, sharing their evidence. It's just out of hand. People, why get involved in these relationships like that? You know, the rich, I think sometimes the rich may say, that might think that they're impenetrable, that the money will protect them. Okay. And then others might say, well, I'm smarter and I'm clever or whatever. I could manipulate this person. Why even go there? Why? Why? I mean, why? Because you have individuals that have their motives. They're insecure themselves and they are afraid of true intimacy. See, true intimacy is about making self vulnerable. It's about being vulnerable and being honest with the other party and loving yourself to be vulnerable. They don't love themselves to be vulnerable enough to do and have pretension. And in the end, it catches up with you and then you fall. So who wants to live like that? Why get in relationships and you're not even married with the person? Why even do that? Find someone that you love and who loves you back. Test them to see if their love is genuine. And if not, move on. Move on. Move on. What is someone who's 19 years old interested in a 50-something-year-old man for your money? Many times. And why would someone 50-something years old want to be with a 19-year-old? Because they like it tight. And like my pastor has said, like it tight and like it right, something like that. If it's tight, it's right. That's what he said. Okay? That's the mentality. But there's a price to pay to like it tight. It's not right for you. It's not right. And now you're suffering. Now they're shaming you. They're shaming you. And I feel it seems like, in my opinion, it just seems like that it is to rob your energy and it's to get the public in another frenzy. It seems like with Black social media, is how sleazy could you be? How sleazy and how cool you can be, right? We have to get out of that. We have to get back to spirituality. People, get back into spirituality, no matter what your race is. Get into spirituality. Stop the foolishness and be content with what you have. Learn to go within and be happy within yourself and be good to yourself and good to your neighbors. Be good to humanity. Stop the foolishness. Stop the foolishness. The planet is going downhill. It's in free fall. Please, people. None of us are perfect. This is a journey for all of us. Let us try to make the right decisions, okay? Let's try to make it work. I don't know what else to say, but it just seems like we're being pulled in many directions, and it's used as a distraction to get you to fall. Don't fall for it. People, retreat in your inner, in your inner chamber. Escape to your own inner chamber and wait till the wind passes, okay? Because it could blow you over. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to retreat, get your sanity, get your mind level, and then re-engage using wisdom, okay? So that's what I wanted to share about what's going on affecting the children. And the children is just a reflection of the adult world. People are panicking. People are getting greedy. Please instruct your children. Teach them morals. And adults, if you're not ready to start a family, don't start a family. And just use wisdom and pray to your higher power to give you the wisdom, knowledge, and truth to get yourself out of your predicament. And not by using your children in a dangerous manner to be more of a man and woman in getting money. You adults are responsible for those children, not the reverse. Okay? That is my opinion. I know it's not agreed upon by some, but that is my opinion. And when I see children and teens running across the street because they assume someone has money and almost get hit by a car for a fucking penny, that is a problem. That is a problem. Okay. Let's use wisdom. Okay. Thank you again. I hope you like this live stream and that it makes sense what I'm saying. And again, I speak out of love in this situation. I speak with love. Yes, I'm angry because I'm sad for humanity. I'm sad at this situation. And it is frightening. It is frightening to see. And I know what poverty is like. I know what it's like. It's frightening. And I'm very thankful and thank the universe even now. I thank you, universe, for your mercy upon me. Please continue to shine on me. And may I think of ways that could help the people here in this country. I like the people here, and I don't know what to do to help. I can get overwhelmed sometimes, okay? Let us pray for one another. Let us pray for peace and harmony, and that we have food and shelter, okay? I thank you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Good night.